thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle.
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on and join us.
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, let's see where we stand today.
Yeah, let's.
Bullwinkle inherited a mine from his Uncle Dewlap. A mysterious stranger high in a helicopter began to follow him and Rocky. He turned out to be Captain Peter Wrongway Peachfuzz, the new head of American intelligence. But Captain Peachfuzz is still up to his old wrong-way tricks, and he almost immediately wrecked the helicopter. Everybody got down to earth all right, but now they're all lost in the middle of the what desert is this?
I don't know. You got a map, Bullwinkle?
Nope. Maybe Captain Peachfuzz knows where we are.
Of course I do, Bullwinkle. I have a map right oh, dear.
What is it?
My papers. They're all gone.
Then nobody knows where we are.
Not quite true, for at that moment, not too far away, that notorious reprobate, Boris Badenov, was picking up all of Peachfuzz's papers.
There's driver's license, expired 1926, and here is map of desert, and right next to this little... Oh, boy!
What kind little who boy is that, darling?
Natasha Honeybun, we hit jackpot.
Is deed to Moose's mine?
Better yet, is Peachfuzz's identity card.
You collecting autographs?
You don't understand. Peachfuzz is head of G2.
So?
So, I merely change picture like this, and behold, the new head of G2. Oh, I can see it now, Natasha. Secret agents bring me reports. I sell them direct to consumers, no middlemen. I retail books full of secret information, $100 each. Pocket editions, 25 cents. Eventually, I set up discount houses for spies all over the world. Money will roll in, millions. Then I'll have to do bookkeeping, add up thousands of figures, work late at night, figure payroll deductions, pay income tax, profits, tax. Phew, it isn't worth it.
Okay, but how do we get deed to Moose's mine?
Ah, you forget, Natasha. They are lost. We have map. We trade.
But won't they be suspicious of you?
Ha ha, silly girl.
And so, just a little while later...
Gee, if we could only find somebody who knows this area, somebody who lives here.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Who in the wide, warm world are you?
Abu Ben Boris, wealthy desert chief at your service.
Abu Ben Boris.
Ah, you've heard of me.
Yeah. Didn't your name lead all the rest one time?
That's me. And this is Fatima, queen of the harem.
But you're Arabs.
What did you expect to find in Arabia, darling?
Arabia? Then this desert must be...
Yes, the Sahara.
Now, wait a minute. You said this is Arabia. The Sahara's in Africa.
I bought it last week. They just delivered it.
Boy, he must be rich.
Come this way.
And the wily Boris led them to a strange-looking tent in the middle of the burning sands.
Keep your eyes open, Bullwinkle. This may be a trap.
I'll be careful, Rock.
But just then, Bullwinkle's sharp eyes spotted somebody in the distance.
Hey, what's he doing here?
What's who doing here?
Him. He looks to me like a strictly American-type prospector.
He's just mirage.
Mirage?
Of course, optical illusion. For instance, is broad daylight, no?
Of course it is.
And yet, don't you think you see stars?
Yeah, how about that? And what's more, I'm sleepy.
And Bullwinkle slumped to the sands as Boris drew an evil-looking scimitar from his belt and stalked into the tent after Rocky. Oh, whatever you do, don't miss our next episode, Boris and the Blade, or Shiek, Rattle, and Roll.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But that trick never works.
This time for sure. Presto! Well, I'm getting close.
And now it's time for another special feature.
Once upon a time, in a little pond in the Middle West, lived an ugly duckling who wanted to be a movie star.
I ought to be in pictures. Da 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 da.
He was the star of his local dramatic club, and he was written up in his hometown newspaper for his acting in Cyrano de Duckerac, Hamlet, the Melancholy Duck, and Duck of a Salesman. But this kind of fame meant nothing to him. He wanted to be a movie star.
I'm just ripe for some lucky scout to discover.
So the ugly duckling left his little pond and journeyed far away to a place where all the big talent scouts came to scout talent, a place called Schwab's Swamp. All around him were pictures of the ducks who had been discovered there.
Duck Benny, Duck Jones, Duck Washers. Gee, even Duck Tracy.
And sure enough, talent scouts were discovering ducks all around him.
Hey, you.
Me?
No, him. Sign here.
Hey, handsome.
Yes?
Not you, ugly, him. Will 1,000 a week be enough?
But alas, nobody wanted to discover the ugly duckling.
Ugly? Gosh, looks like I'm a has-been before I was even a was.
My, for a duck, you are certainly a silly goose.
What do you mean?
You can't just sit there and wait for them. Make them discover you.
By golly, I'd do it.
Soon, the ugly duckling was standing before one of the biggest producers in town, J.B. Hogfat himself.
Now get this, J.B. Don't you see, Captain? There's no time now. We are thinking of women and children. You're the only one who can get through safely. Go, take the last boat. I will stay and keep the ship off the rocks. Don't think of me. I've lived my life. Think of the children.
Magnificent. Oh, you're a great actor, Duck.
Then I get a contract?
Of course not. You're ugly as a mud fence, but you were superb.
Yeah, that figures.
The ugly duckling tried and tried.
Ah, my little pigeon, come with me to this swamp.
No.
In its dark, mysterious byways, you will come to know the ways of love, l'amour.
Duck, you are greatest lover in world.
But,
You ugly.
no soap.
No soap.
Still, the duckling didn't give up.
Such grace, such rhythm. Another Astaire, a new Gene Kelly.
But I'm too ugly for a contract, eh?
Oh, much too.
Thought so.
And it was the same story with everyone he saw.
Gracious, you are an ugly one.
Cab, please.
Yes, Ugg. Yes,
Hey, mister,
Yes?
how come you're so ugly?
All right, I get the idea.
Broken-hearted, the duck returned to Schwab's Swamp.
It's no use. I got a face that would stop a clock, even an electric clock.
Oh, you silly goose. You give up so easily. Haven't you ever heard of facelifting?
I don't want it higher. I want it prettier.
Then go to a plastic surgeon. Get your beak bobbed, your feathers lifted. Get handsome.
Yes, I'll do it.
So, several weeks later, at the hospital,
I have good news for you, my boy. Today the bandages come off.
Hurry, Doc. I got to know.
See, you're lovely.
It's true. You are good looking.
it was true. The doctor had done the trick. Without wasting a minute, the handsome duckling dashed back to the producer's office.
Well, here I am, JB. Just slip the contract under here. I'll just sign it. I won't even read it.
What do you talk? I won't give you a contract.
Why?
You're too blamed good looking.
Too?
Well, it seemed as if the trend in movie making had switched to horror pictures. The thing in the duck pond. It ducked from outer space. Ugly duck meets wolfman.
Sorry, bud, I can't use any good lookers. Excuse me. Hello, Myron. Yeah, me too. But there was a duck here last week who'd be perfect for the pond.
Me? It was me.
Faced like 3 days of bad weather.
My face?
I told you once, no more pretty boys. Now, Myron, if he shows up again, I'll make a star out of him.
And so the little duckling realized that he had left his real happiness back in that little pond in the middle. Hey, now wait a minute. You're not going back.
Of course not. I'm just starting my new job. Okay, you guys, let her go.
But why are you...
I figure in a week I'll be ugly enough to scare anybody. But meanwhile, I'm still in show business.
Look, Bullwinkle, a message in a bottle.
Fan mail from some flounder?
No, this is what I really call a message.
Hello there. Today's poem is the beloved old nursery rhyme, Rocky My Baby. Rocky my baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks...
Hold it! Hold it! You out of your mind, Moose?
No more than usual, GJ.
All right, get that cradle down here.
But, GJ...
Look, this is a family show. No babies stuck in trees.
No.
We'd have the Baby Protection League on our necks in a minute.
Well, it's just a doll, really.
Who writes this stuff anyway?
Mother Goose.
Hello? Give me continuity. CP? We got a woman named Goose on the payroll. Uh-huh. Get rid of her. Yeah, the gander's gotta go too.
But the poem...
Sorry, too much violence.
But I like violence.
You like violence? You mean you like explosions? Trees falling? People being hit in the head?
No, I like violence 'cause they smell so nice.
And now it's time...
Time for that jolly juggler, Bullwinkle.
Oh, dear.
3 at once. 1, 2...
And now here's a feature you're sure to like.
3.
Hello out there. Peabody and Sherman here. The Wayback Machine, my incomparable invention for traveling through time, has been set for the year 1513.
Which direction are we heading, Mr. Peabody?
South, Sherman, specifically Florida, and our host will be the illustrious Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon, the man who sought the fabled Fountain of Youth. The Wayback took us way back instantly to a small clearing in the heart of the Florida Everglades. We saw no sign of Ponce de Leon or his men, merely a large tent with a white object flying above it.
Ponce de Leon's flag, Mr. Peabody.
That's no flag, Sherman. That is a baby's bib. What's more, as we rounded the tent, the clearing abounded in diapers, and there, slaving over a washtub, was the distinguished explorer.
Oh, Mondays. How I detest Mondays.
Buenos dias, Ponce de Leon.
Buenos dias. Ah, tourists. You are on your way to Palm Beach, no doubt.
No, Mr. de Leon. We came to see if we couldn't help you find the Fountain of Youth.
Oh, that's very noble of you, but it has already been discovered.
You found it?
Oh, not me, my men. That is them over there playing with blocks. They were grown men when they reached the fountain, and they were very thirsty.
Drank too much?
See, now instead of blowing taps each night, I play Brahms' lullaby. Oh, it's very degrading.
We accepted Ponce's invitation to stay for lunch and sat down to a large bowl of mush. The luncheon progressed nicely, although I was forced into burping Lieutenant Rodriguez, 3 months of age. We were about to embark on a custard pudding when Ponce noticed that one of his men was missing.
Corporal Gonzalez. He's not in his high chair.
A quick search of the grounds turned up nothing, not even a clue.
Oh, that's not like Gonzalez to go AWOL. He was always a most conscientious soldier. He would not crawl away.
Gee, Mr. Peabody, a little baby like that lost in the Everglades.
Perhaps he was thirsty, and if he was thirsty, he may be heading for the fountain. Quick, Ponce, lead us to the fountain. Gonzales couldn't stand growing any younger. Ponce de Leon issued orders for his command to remain in their barracks, which is to say he unceremoniously dumped them into a playpen. 5 minutes later, we arrived at the Fountain of Youth.
Look, it's the baby, and he's going to drink.
Attention! Stand at attention!
But the glass never wavered. Glancing about, I noticed a rattlesnake slumbering blissfully on the limb of a nearby tree. With deft hand, I shook his rattles, taking care not to rouse him. Naturally, the sound of the rattle arrested the attention of Corporal Gonzales.
Corporal Gonzales, you are under arrest and hereby confined to your bassinet.
We returned to the clearing and prepared to give Ponce de Leon's soldier a change of uniform. That's when the attack started.
Indians! The Seminole Indians!
Herding the soldiers together, we retreated inside Ponce de Leon's tent.
I knew that sooner or later they would find us. Quick, issue each man a musket.
Musket? They can't even hold a bottle.
What'll we do, Mr. Peabody? We're outnumbered.
Only one thing to do, Sherman. Fight fire with fire. I waited until darkness, then crept slowly out of camp. Then suddenly, I was in the midst of the Seminoles.
Why we not attack 'em in darkness? Why must Indian always wait till dawn?
We take pictures of battle. No got flash bulb before night fighting.
Assured the Seminoles wouldn't attack till daylight, I continued on. Then early the following morning, I rejoined Sherman and Ponce.
Senor Peabody, quick! I think the Indians are about to attack.
But instead of attacking, the Seminole chief came into the clearing all alone.
A white flag! They've surrendered!
Again, you're wrong, Sherman. That white flag is a diaper. You see, last night I went to the Fountain of Youth, took a generous supply of the water, and crept into the Seminole camp. While the Indians were sleeping, I spiked their water supply.
But if that is true, then the Indians are...
Babies? Yes. And at that very moment, 4 of the most ferocious braves crawled out of the brush.
White man, I come in peace. I have talcum to trade for diapers.
And so the battle never came off. In fact, Ponce and the Seminole chief became such good friends, they erected the Fountain of Youth Nursery School.
Well, all's well that ends well, Mr. Peabody.
Precisely, Sherman. By the way, what is that you have in your hand?
This? Oh, just an old rusty key I found in the dirt.
Well, congratulations, my boy. You are now a landowner.
Landowner, Mr. Peabody?
Of course, Sherman. You now own one of the Florida Keys.
Well, it looks as if our friends will never get to Mount Flatten and Bullwinkle's mine, for they have just met up with their old nemesis, Boris Badenov, disguised as a wealthy desert chieftain.
Abu Ben Boris at your service.
What's more, on the pretext of showing him a mirage, Boris has sent Bullwinkle to Dreamland, drawn a wicked-looking sword, and followed Rocky and Captain Peach Fuzz into his tent.
Can you lead us out of this desert, Mr. Abu Ben Boris?
Call me Benny.
Well, can you?
You said it, Effendi.
Well, let's get started then.
There's only one little hitch.
What's that?
You ready to pay?
Pay? Where's all that desert hospitality I've heard so much about?
Oh, I'm hospitable. You can stay as long as you like, free from charge.
But what if we want to leave?
And we do.
Then you pay.
Very well. Here's all the money I have.
Money? Who needs money?
We do, darling.
Shut up your veil, Fatime.
Well, what do you want?
You got any other valuables? Jewels, deed to mines?
Deeds to mines?
I'm just spitballing, you understand?
Yeah, we got one of those.
Well, then we're in business.
But it belongs to Bullwinkle.
No, so quick we're out of business.
Say, where is Bullwinkle?
Oh, he's right out there.
Sure enough, Bullwinkle was right out there, out like a light.
Bullwinkle, old pal, speak to me.
Howdy, stranger.
Stranger? Bullwinkle, it's me, Rocky.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Rocky.
He doesn't know me. Bullwinkle, don't you remember? We're on the way to your Uncle Dewlap's mine.
Mine?
Sure. Don't you have the deed?
You know, you're pretty nosy for somebody I just met.
Rocky, I do believe he has amnesia.
Yeah.
Never mind that. Does he have deed to mine?
Looks like we'll never know, Boris. He's lost his memory.
If they don't have deed to mine, who needs them? Well, we must be off.
But you can't leave us to perish in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Watch carefully.
And with one mighty swipe of his scimitar, Boris cut the guy ropes of the tent. Instantly, it collapsed on Rocky and Captain Peach Fuzz.
Well, now they can't follow us. Let's go, Natasha. I'm the sneak of Araby.
And the two villains hurried off across the desert, leaving our heroes floundering under the folds of canvas. But at that moment, one of the tent poles toppled over and struck Bullwinkle on the head.
Goodness, I must have overslept. Hey, who's in there?
It's us, Bullwinkle. Get us out.
With a surge of mighty moose muscle, Bullwinkle lifted the whole tent up, and Rocky and Captain Peach Fuzz emerged, none the worse for wear.
Hiya, Rock.
Bullwinkle, you recognize me.
You got your memory back.
Your mind isn't a blank anymore.
Well, let's not go overboard, Rocky.
I knew we shouldn't have trusted those two.
You know, I bet they weren't Arabs at all.
They were just after the deed to your uncle's Upsidasium mine.
Yeah. Where is the deed, Bullwinkle?
Where I always put things for safekeeping.
Where's that?
Behind my left antler.
Hooray! You got the deed that they were after. Now let's follow their footsteps out of this desert.
And a hearty little band began to follow Boris and Natasha's footprints in the sands of crime. Unfortunately, as they marched across the shifting dunes, the wind began to blow harder.
Bullwinkle, the wind is erasing their footprint.
Yes, in just a gusty minute, there wasn't a trace of a footprint to follow, and our friends were once more completely lost in the desert. Will they survive the rigors of the desert night? Be with us next time for Sourdough Squirrel or Hard Rock Rocky.
Well, it looks as if our time has just about run out.
Mine must be a little slow.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop.
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right.
Bye now. See you next time.